Welcome to our post-debate coverage right here on the First TV. I want to go right to the great Dr. Sebastian Gorka. He's the host of America First. Please subscribe and read his Substack. The president does, the former president does, the next president, Donald Trump, reads it. He's a former special advisor to President Trump as well. Dr. Gorka, what are we to do? What are the Democrats to do after what we just saw?
Well, I don't know if anyone takes him seriously anymore. But if you go to that TDS, Trump Derangement Syndrome Patient Zero, Matt Drudge's site right now, this is what you will see. You will see. I'll read it for you guys. Operation Replace Biden. Dems scramble with 130 days to go. Debate catastrophe. Pretty much. President Trump kept his cool. He was measured. He was in command. And Biden, I mean, look, I'm not being facetious. I'm not being mean. For an hour and a half, the man who has the nuclear football within 30 feet of him, 24/7, stood there in front of the world with his mouth open. I mean, like a dementia patient. This is a guy, I mean, forget what he lied about, how his son, Beau Biden, died in Iraq, or no American servicemen have died while he's president. I guess the 13 who were blown apart by ISIS during his disastrous surrender of Afghanistan didn't die, or the other 3 who were murdered by a drone run by Iran as they were stationed in Jordan. They didn't die either. So this was shocking. I mean, Mike, this is after 7 days of rest and prepping in Camp David. How do you not teach somebody in 7 days not to keep their mouth open for 90 minutes like a fly trap?
Man, and his advisors had to have known going into tonight what this was going to be. There's no way they were shocked by the mouth agape and the eyes wide open and the meandering sentences. It's just really quite surreal. I want to play this clip for everyone if they missed it. This was after the debate. This was maybe the most damning of them all. I mean, there were many moments, but this one might be the worst. This is Jill Biden leading Joe off the stage. Talk about dementia patient. This is sad. And so my wife, Dr. Gorka, she's politically normal person. Like kind of tunes in from time to time with her.
So not a freak like us, right?
Exactly. No, but she watched and she felt bad because she's a good person. She's like, like any person watching that would feel very, very uncomfortable. But then maybe worse so knowing that he's the president.
Wow. I mean, that's, just add that to the list of, Prime Minister Maloney at the G7 as he's staring off into the middle distance, walking away from that incredible paratrooper, having to say, hey, Joe, turn around. We're over here. Yeah. Or in Los Angeles at that fundraiser. I mean, Obama, who hates Biden, I mean, we know the Bidens hate the Obamas, having to grab him by the wrist and say, Joe, we're finished. We have to leave the stage. And then putting his hand on the nape of his neck and then literally walking him off the stage like a dementia patient. I mean, add it to the list. Add it to the freezing like a statue on the Juneteenth as everybody's bopping to the crappy music on the White House lawn. I hadn't even seen that, Mike. Thank you. I think.
Yeah, that clip's wild.
But hang on. Is that a cheap fake?
That's it. Yeah, no, is that? Oh, you better believe you'll hear it. We always hear about the Nixon JFK debate. The first televised debate. And I don't even think this is true, but if you listen to it on the radio, Nixon won. But if you watched it on TV, there was a bead of sweat coming down Nixon's face, and that lost the election for him. Like, oh man, if that were true, what is tonight? So a political question, like what can we talked in the last guest about, they literally can do whatever they want. It's a private club, they can do whatever they want. Do you think they do that? Do they pull the ripcord here and pull the escape hatch and abandon ship? Or what do they do? Do they try to mop this up?
Yeah, I've been debating this with my my producer, Jeff, is one of the most astute political minds I know out there. You know, it's difficult to say, truly difficult to say, because you can't really remove a president from office. It's very hard to do that. I mean, you can invoke the 25th Amendment, but you have to have 2/3 of the cabinet, including the vice president, and then it has to go to Congress to have him removed. On top of that, it's like an epic self-burn for the Democrats.
Yeah.
On top of that, if you do that, how do you skip over the diversity hire? You've got a black woman as the vice president who you can't have run because she failed to get even 3% of the Democrat primary vote. Think of that. Less than 3% of Democrats voted for her in the presidential primary. So look, it's the Democrats. They lie, steal, and cheat. They've done so since Joe Kennedy bought the election with dead votes in Chicago and Philly for his son JFK in 1960. So they're capable of anything. We could see the magic super delegates who have more votes than the regular delegates be deployed again, as they did against Bernie, to ensure that Clinton got the nomination. But they have to convince Jill, right? So they have to convince Jill, who really wants to be first lady for another 4 years. But if the donors, this is what my producer mentioned, if the donors say, guys, that guy's brain is fried and we're not going to give you another penny, then it becomes, really, really interesting.
Wow. Listen, we like our guy, and I think it's okay to be constructive criticism of our guy. What would you have liked to see President Trump maybe hit a little different, hit a little better? If he had another swing at that question, you would be like, he could have maybe done this a little different. Anything that stood out?
Well, look, I would have just, it's hard, it's easy to quarterback after the event. And when you hear things like, no American servicemen were killed under my watch, I mean, that's when you throw the script out of the window and you've got to deal with scum like Biden saying things like that are out and out lies. I think at the end of the day, he did what had to be done. He controlled himself. He was measured. He was calm. He was collected. But it's what Reagan taught us. The only question that has to be asked right now, the Socratic question, is, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? Just concentrate on that, because look, we've got the base. We've got at least 74 million people who have got President Trump's back. We have to win this with the undecideds, the independents, the people in the middle, the soft squish rhinos, and the Democrats are going, oh my gosh, Biden's Looney Tunes. And there we just say, hey, how's your mortgage right now? What's your IRA looking like? If you just stick at the, did you see the Walmart video today? The millennial with the Walmart video? I mean, if you look, we don't need another campaign now. The Trump campaign does not need any more, visuals or video than this millennial saying, I get my groceries from Walmart, and I found the old shopping cart online for the digital purchase from 2 years ago, and I live alone. There were 45 items in the cart, and it cost me $124 2 years ago. And then he said, buy again on the electronic cart at Walmart. And it came out today under Biden as not $100 more, not $200 more, but almost $300 more. It jumped to $414. Forget about politics, forget about war in Ukraine, October 7th, what's happening, in Afghanistan. When the staples of life cost you multiples more than they did when he came into office, are you better off than you were 4 years ago, Mike?
Yeah. Dr. Sebastian Gorka, America First podcast, former advisor to President Trump. Where can people read more of your wonderful insights, sir?
Well, very kindly, you mentioned my Substack. President Trump does read it. He posted a long quote from it on Truth Social. So SebastianGorka.substack.com. I'm on every social media platform except the YouTube because they're fascists. So, Seb Gorka, Sebastian Gorka, everywhere, Rumble, Truth Social, Twitter, and of course on Salem Radio, 3 to 6 Eastern every day across the nation to about 3.5 million listeners.
And look for the podcast, America First. Dr. Gorka, an honor, sir. Thank you.
God bless. Thank you, Mike.